do I start? Metric is my favorite band. What's funny about this is that my usual taste in music is more folksy and jazz. I love jazz. I never can tell what I'll like, but I didn't like Metric at first. And they grew on me. And when Fantasies, their most recent album, came out, you know how when your favorite band comes out with a new album, you get all excited, and then almost inevitably it's kind of a lackluster album, and then you're disappointed in your band, and you watch the evolution of them as it slowly evolves away from your tastes. So I was kind of waiting for that to happen with Metric. So, especially since I hadn't really developed... I mean, I developed an attachment to them, but it was still, like, not my usual music style. I should just cut to the chase. Emily Haines is the lead singer of Metric. She also did some work with a band called Broken Social Scene, who I also really love. And she also did some somewhat solo stuff with a band called The Soft Skeleton. And that work was what really won me over. So if you ever get a chance to pick up Emily Haines and The Soft Skeleton, please, please, please. She's a hell of a writer, and this sounds totally creepy, but if there were one voice that I would want in my ear in my last moments on this planet, it would be Emily Haynes' voice. It's really special. There's something to it, and I'm not the only one. I'm not delusional, I swear. So I saw Metric live for the first time over the summer, and it was unforgettable, and I got a photo pass, and it was an experience that I've mentioned before. And I got a photo pass to see them tonight at the Webster, and it's funny because I thought, oh, the Webster's kind of small, and it's Hartford, and, you know, I heard it wasn't selling that well, and I was just, you know, kind of surprised. And at first the hall was kind of empty, relatively empty. You know, I had a photo pass. At first there was nobody else in the pit, whereas in New York it was, you know, at least 10 photographers battling out to get the right spot. So it ended up only being 3 people. I should cut to the chase. So I took these great pictures, and I love this band. So I'm singing along like to the top of my lungs as I'm in the pit taking pictures and turning around and getting great pictures of the audience, because I love audience pictures, because that's what we can always relate to. Because you might not know Metric, but you certainly know what it feels like to be in a screaming crowd. So anyway, at the end of the show, and this is, believe it or not, the part of the night that meant the most to me. At the end of the show, Emily went down and she was just, you know, shaking hands with random people. The barrier curved back, and I was at the back. It was a long shot for me to even take a peek at her. But I saw her shaking hands, and I put my hand out, and she kind of like leaned like she was finished. And then she saw me, and she took a few steps towards me and put her hand out and said, "Thank you." And she touched my hand, and she shook it. And I said, "Thank you." And then, like, we had a moment. I'm not delusional. We really had a moment. Maybe I am delusional, but hey, the moment was great. So the fact that, I mean, she obviously saw me shooting, and so that's probably why she did it. But it was, I suddenly understood. Now I've met some famous people, but none that meant this much. So as soon as it was done, like, I put my hand in my mouth, and it was this amazing feeling that, you know, someone's hand is a pretty intimate thing. Even though you shake hands with people all the time, it's still intimate, I guess, if you want it to be. And so when she reached out, and her hand was warm, and obviously, like, it was a little, not sweaty, like gross, but it was sweatier than the average palm, because she, I don't know, had just been on stage all night dancing around and singing and grabbing a microphone. So anyway, I thought, okay, my goal at this point is, I'd like to just, I really wanted my picture with her. not with my fancy cameras, but with my little Canon ELPH, you know, do one of those, sort of like I did with the lead singer of Blind Pilot last weekend. So I walked up to the bus and there was a guy in front of it looking very tough. And I said, "Is this the Metric bus?" He said, "Yeah, they'll be out. I don't know when, though." It was very standoffish, which I'm sure they have to be. So I waited for about 15 minutes, and finally this guy came out and he said, he didn't even look at me. He goes, "Do you want to meet the band?" And I look at him. You know, normally I'm pretty articulate. But he goes, "Do you want to meet the band?" And he's like locking the bus door, and I'm not sure he's talking to me, even though I'm the only one there. Finally we make eye contact, and I go, yeah. What is it about other human beings that you would respond? I don't know. Fame is a very strange thing to me. So I was like, total caricature of myself. I'm shocked by my inability to communicate when offered something I didn't expect. I really just thought maybe on the way to the bus I could say, "Hi, I just want to say thank you again. Do you mind if I get a picture?" Meet the band. Okay, so he leads me around the Webster, and at this point, of course, I'm seeing all these people that I would like to see. My friend Christian, who is just really ill, and I haven't seen him for a while, and I know he's a big Metric fan, and I saw him, and I couldn't, because I was going to go meet the band. Sorry, Christian. I wish I could have taken you with me. It was fast. So he takes me in, and it's like a meet and greet. And so, alright, I'm at the end of a long line of people who got, like, meet and greet passes. And I made sure that I was at the very end of the line, at the end. Because I thought if I was at the end of the line, that would heighten my chances of saying, you know, "Oh, can I get a picture?" Anyway, so I got up to them. All four of them were sitting at a table signing stuff. So I got my press pass, and I got them all to sign it. There's Emily's. There's an XO there. I would normally feel special, but she does XO on everything. Absolutely everything. Probably her driver's license, too. But they all signed it, which was cool, and Emily said that she liked the sepia tone, and maybe they should have used that for their album cover. And I said that she should have consulted me. Oh, and then the bassist, who I totally locked eyes with a few times, said, "Hey, I saw you in the pit. You were having a really good time. You were singing and dancing." I was like, "Yeah, of course I was. You know, I love you guys." And I had a great time, and I said, you know, I can't help but give you my card. So I gave him my card, and he asked me how to pronounce my name, which was really nice. And I said, "I took pictures of you guys when you were at Terminal 5, and I had dropped off the photos with somebody at the venue to get to them, and hopefully it does, because I spent 30-something bucks on that freaking crap to print out those pictures, because I'm so insistent that those photos are some of the best photos I've ever taken, and I really need them to see them. Even if they just look at them and say, "Oh, that's nice," at least I need them to see these photographs. They're not... I've seen the work that they put on their page, and nothing is like what I have. So I needed them to see that. And I hope they do. And he has my card. And chances are nothing at all will come of it. But I should just shut up before I ruin the experience of this night that's still forming in my head. I met Metric. I met Metric. Met Emily Haines. Emily Haines shook my hand. Emily Haines shook my hand. This hand. And it's frustrating because I can't share that feeling with you guys. I know that if there's someone out there that's met someone, an artist that they really respect, they know how it feels, but you can't know how this feels. Not to, like, make myself all special, like, you don't know how I feel. I got nothing else. I don't even know what to say. I'm just gonna shut up. ilovemetric.com. I'm not kidding. ilovemetric.com. And thanks to Smarty and Jonathan and Phil for coming out to the show tonight. I wish you could have been with me.